I took this trade on NQ and made about $2,200 profit. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you why I took this trade, my thought process behind the trade, how I identify my buyers and my narrative, how I entered into the trade, and more. And by the end of this video, you're going to see how simple trading can actually be. Now, full transparency, I did take this trade live on stream. You can join in the first link in the description if you wish. So starting off on the daily chart, this is where I start most of my analysis. Every time I come into the markets, I look at the daily chart and see what are the daily candles doing. So in this case, it was a Tuesday I was trading. So I look at the previous day. We can see we had swept Monday's high over here and we formed a bearish rejection. We also tapped into this daily bearish order block. This up close candle, that is an order block. We extend to the right, that we are rejecting from that. And we also swept Monday's high. Dropping down to the 1 hour, we can see we are rejecting from this 1 hour order block. We swept London's high and we formed a reversal from there. Now an obvious point of liquidity would be this sell side liquidity within this 1 hour fair value gap. So I marked out this level of liquidity. We swept London's high and we are within this bearish order block. Dropping down to the 15 minute, what we notice, we also swept Monday's high. Right on the daily chart, we swept Monday's high. We went up a bit further, we swept London high. And then around 9 a.m. we formed this smart money reversal. We have this bearish CRST, which I marked out in red. We came down, we tagged London low, we reversed back higher up into this CRST, formed a failure swing over here, basically rejected from this CRST and came back down again. And we formed a secondary CRST. There was also a gap over here. You can see this candle closed over here and this candle open here. But that is irrelevant because once the candle closes below, that is still a bearish CRST. And again, this is the sell side liquidity, which we mark out from the 1 hour chart. So I just extended it down into the 15 minute. And that is my main target for the day. Dropping down to the 3 minute, we can see once again that is London's high. I forgot to mark it out over here, but that is London high. We swept it over there. We have this bearish CRST on the 3 minute. And most importantly, we came up, we rejected it once again, and we have a 3 minute bearish CRST. So for me, whenever I'm trading, I'm only trading after the 9:30 open. So everything is New York time. So after 9:30 a.m. New York, that is when I will be trading. So you can see I marked out this 9:30 opening price right here. We came down, went back higher, formed the manipulation leg, swept this high into this order block. We came back lower, formed this bearish CRST. So that is the first bearish CRST. I waited to see more confirmation. So we came back lower, went back higher, and we formed this second CRST, which can be treated as an order block as well. So if we head down to the 2 minute, we can also see it's quite obvious on the 2 minute as well. This is the first initial CRST. This is the secondary CRST, and this is also a third CRST. So my execution was actually on the 1 minute. So you can see this is a screenshot I taken from my live stream. This was the initial CRST. Initially, I planned to go long, right, based on this move down and then bullish CRST, but I was stopped out at break even, which is when I realized price was willing to move lower. It wants to move lower, so I flipped my buyers. We had the first bearish CRST. I waited for the secondary confirmation, and right there I went short. Stop loss above this order block, and my take profit was at sell side liquidity mentioned earlier. So again, everything was taken live on stream. First trade was break even, and the second trade was a winner. So going back to the first chart, we can see my executions. Also, I went short there. I covered over here, and this whole thing extremely simple. We start on the daily. We identify what is price doing on the daily chart. We swept Monday's high. Okay. Drop down to the 1 hour. What do we see on the 1 hour? We tapped into this bearish order block, we swept London's high, and we have an obvious level of sell side liquidity. Drop down to the 15-minute, we refine it even further. We have this 15-minute order block slash CIST. We have this 1 hour low. Dropping down to the 3-minute, we can see CIST, same on the 2-minute, same on the 1-minute. So in multiple time frame line, that is when you have your high probability trade. You have all your confluences starting from the daily all the way down to the 1-minute, and that is the reasoning behind this trade, and that is how I find my buyers. And of course, entry is just based on the retest of this CIST. So that is the explanation and the breakdown for this trade which I took. If you want to learn my full strategy and join my live trading streams, you can do that in the first link in the description. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video.